We're very live now. Everybody, welcome
We're more than live.
Welcome to Mish. Hello, Julie. Hello, Rachel. Hello, Mandy. Hello, Barbara. Mish Burgees. How the hell are you?
Very well, thank you. Very well. Living the dream as always. I apologise for the state of me and the state of the background. I am in the process of moving from Darlington to Carlisle, and I'll get shouted at in a minute going, it's not Carlisle, it's Brampton. Yeah, it's Brampton. I know it's Brampton. So I'm in the process of moving house and up sticks and rejigging and just completely living a different life to what I thought I was going to be living when I met you back in whenever the hell I met you. Nearly 2 years?
It was right in the height of COVID. I was living with my mother at the time. She wanted to wrap me up in bubble wrap, so she didn't look after me when COVID first hit. So yeah. I remember speaking
2 years in April, isn't it?
2 years in April. Wow. So let's start at the beginning. First of all, a lot of you will have seen Mish in terms of her success, in terms of what she's done. A lot of you will have messaged me previously. Just, you know, I've been inspired by her, and it's very difficult not to be, Mish, to be fair. Yeah. But let's wind it right back. And why don't you tell us a little bit about what you struggled with right at the very beginning before we met?
I struggled with self-confidence as much as I come across like this is me this was always me acting. I mean, you know, I perform, I can get on stage, I can do performances, but I was very good at putting a mask on. The underneath part of me didn't like me very much. I was great at going, I don't care, you know, I'm a size 22 in a dress, I don't care, I'm outgoing, I don't, you know, fat and happy, that's me. I was the jolly, you know, the jolly one, you know, the jolly fat one, the one that's always the first to be derogatory to herself, because then you're like, nobody else can hurt your feelings if you've said the things first, you know, that kind of stuff. And I think doing the sort of burlesque side of things, I actually ended up kind of believing my own hype in a way. And I was like, I was happier, but I wasn't really happy. And then I had that blinking call with you. Well, I say I was happy. I'd done Slimming World. I'd lost a couple of stone on Slimming World. It took me a few years because I was always on and off it, because I love food, Alex. You know me. I love food. I don't do like little portions. If I'm having a bowl of food, I want food. Yeah. So I was on it, off it. I eventually lost some weight, but then, and I started I did this boot camp thing, and I started doing like all these HIIT exercises. So I was like, I'd lost some weight, but then I hit this plateau and I was just stuck. And I was doing like this boot camp stuff and boxing and all these like really high intensity workouts, sweating my little puddings off. And you mean people will have seen my starting pictures. You know, and I was still a big lass, and I was eating the right things as far as I was concerned from a Slimming World perspective. I was doing all this cardiovascular exercise, like so much, and literally nothing changed. I'd like lose a pound 1 week, and then I'd gain 2 the next, and then I'd lose 2, and then I'd gain 1. And I was just doing this, and I just got to the point where I thought, that's it, it's menopause, isn't it? Everybody's talking about menopause. It's menopause. I'm in my 40s. My mother was on HRT by the time she was 40. I was having all the hot flushes, the night sweats. I was miserable. I was fed up. I felt like shit. You know me, I'll call a spade a spade. And I just thought, this is it. I'm just destined to be a big lass, you know. And all through my life, my parents, my mum and that, my mum, my granny and that, they'd always said, you know, you've got big bones in our family, it's big bones. Your bones are bigger than a size 8. You'll never be less than a size 10 because your bones are bigger than that, you know, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I kind of give up really. And then your thing pinged into me Facebook, and as I said before, I thought it was bull. I'd just done intermittent fasting. Paid me money for sweet Fanny Adams. I'd spent 3 months coughing up that and starving myself, feeling miserable as sin. And I thought, here's this fella telling me that you can get me to lose 2 stone. 2 stone. Who does he think he is in 12 weeks? What a plonker. But then I saw that you were a dietitian, and I know that obviously that's HPCP registered because I'm a nurse. So I went and looked up your registration on the council and found out that you really were. And I thought, well, he can't be lying then, because if he is, he'll get struck off. So I figured in for a penny, in for a pound, and I went for it. And then yeah, everything, literally life and everything changed. I dropped in total, I did 1 stone 8 in the first 12 weeks, and then by the time because I enjoyed it so much, and I thought I did it in COVID, I did it in lockdown, which was really easy, because everything was shut. So I figured I needed a bit more support because of the circumstances where I did it. So I stayed on for that extra. And so in the total, work in the 12 to 12 and then another 12, I lost 3 stone in the end. And I went from a size sort of 16-ish when I think, because I'd lost a bit of weight, I'd gone from a 2022 to about 16 when I started with you. By the time I finished working with you, I dropped from a size 16 to a size 8. So much for the bones are bigger than a size 8.
Oh, Mish, that is nuts, because so many people are they're treading water with acceptance, which is what you mentioned. We start to believe, it's the menopause, it's because of genetics, because of what X, Y, and Z, and you proved them all wrong. You did it.
Yeah, and I didn't have to sweat my puddings off either. I remember the joy when I actually started kind of training more and doing more after the first week, when I was sort of got really into the whole resistance training thing. And I was like, you were like, if you want to really build muscle, you've got to cut down on the cardio. I'm like, get in all right then. But then stupid stuff, I was doing all them HIIT classes when I started, so cardiovascularly I was relatively fit, but I couldn't run for toffee. I remember being on one of your lives. There was a Facebook live, you were on it, and somebody who's come in. I've just come back from my 5k run, and I'm like, who is this freak that can run for 5k? And I remember commenting on your live going, I can't even run for a minute and a half without gasping for air.
Not anymore.
And now I just I'll just go off and have a little 5k trot around just cause, and in a half an hour I can bang out a 5k in half an hour on my lunch break. What? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Your success is there, Mish, and your enthusiasm is absolutely infectious, which is what everyone's saying here, by the way.
Daniel, many infectious things.
I'm serious. They're all, honestly, Bernie Ray, Julie Saunders, everyone is giving you so much respect here. Tanya Noble is watching. Tanya's literally just signed up today.
Cool. Hey, Tanya, just do it. Just go for it. It's awesome. And I've got to be honest. So you know me, Alex. I've got to be honest, right? So since I stopped working with you a year ago, but just over a year ago now, in the last year, I've sold the family home that I was in for 20 odd years, bought a new house, had a daughter move back in with me, another daughter go to university, then the daughter that moved back in with me has gone down to live down south, and then I'm now in the sticks and moving over to Carlisle because I've got a new fella. And life has not been all hunky-dory, cushy roses, right? Life has been interesting, as life always is. And I will not lie, I have regained a little bit of weight, but I was sat at just over 10 stone and a size 8, and I'm now sat probably around about a stone heavier, but I'm still a size 10. And do you know what? For me, that is my happy medium. That is, I've found where I'm at, and I know that if I put my clothes on and I start to feel a little bit tight, I get my little MyFitnessPal out and I go back and I dig into my little recipes. And I did one today. I made myself cauliflower cheese, a roasted cauliflower cheese for lunch today, right? And I knocked it all up, and then afterwards I thought, I'm just going to check, because every so often I just check, just by putting it into MyFitnessPal, just to see what all my little macros and everything are. Nailed it. Full massive bowl, pasta, cauliflower, all my veggies, all colourful. It was 407 calories. Didn't even count it until afterwards. Boom. So I do it without thinking now. That's the thing that I find that so for anybody that's just starting, just learn from Alex, learn from his stuff, do the reading, because then your stuff. I mean, my fella, he works out on that, and I've been sort of teaching him stuff now. And my boy, you've heard me talk about my boy before, Dan's still killing it. Dan is like looking so buff now. He's got like biceps and everything.
Unreal. Dan is Mish's son, by the way.
Yeah.
So this is what I mean. You don't keep this stuff to yourself. You pass it on to anyone who listen, especially nearest and dearest. So when you told me that he lost 2 stone last year, I was like, oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah. He's shot up. I mean, he's shot up. But he says to me the other day, he says, "Mum, I've gained a little bit of weight again." And I says, "But Dan, you're about a foot taller than you were." I mean, he's 6'2" now. I think, yeah, about 6'2". But he's ripped. He's got like this jawline. He used to, when he was a kid, he used to have little 6-pack. It's all coming back now. I was in the gym with him the other day, and you know the leg extension machine.
Yeah.
He maxes it out now. It out. He has to go on the big boy machines now because he's doing like leg extensions with the full weights on and that. And he's always like, "Mum, try this, mum."
How does that make you feel that you've done?
Mint. It's mint. You know, I mean, I'm so much happier in myself. And like I say, I know at the moment I'm still carrying a little bit of my Christmas stuff at the minute, you know, so I'd probably like to get a couple of pound back off because I've just got a pair of size 10 jeans that are a little bit too snug at the minute, you know. Can you believe that? Size 10, they're a bit too snug. But, so yeah, I want to get a couple of pounds off, but I know it's easy now. I'm in control now. That's the difference. That if I want to go out and have a slice of cake, I'll go out and have a slice of cake, but then I just do a little bit of extra training, or I go for a run, or I just cut back a little bit on somewhere else, and just that balance. I don't have to say, oh, I have to, if I go out with friends, I don't have to say, oh, I can't have that. You know, if I have it, I want it, and then I just have to balance it out like by doing this here, and it all just works, and I know what I'm doing. And like I say, I'm in control of it. So it's all good.
And let's talk about that control aspect, because the reason why it's great to have you here, Mish, is because obviously you've not just lost the weight, but you've sustained it, as in like you have that balance now. You've kept it off for what, 18 months, you know, since we worked together on a one-to-one basis. So what have you learned? If you were to give tips, 5, 6 things that you've learned that are now habitual for you, that you'd like to pass on to someone watching this who was at the start of their journey?
Habitual things for me, journaling is life.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's my nice new orange one today. Just started a new book. Yeah, oh yeah. Journaling is life. So I do my journaling. Weight training. It doesn't have to. You don't have to. The amount of people that go, oh, weight training, you'll get like all like big and bulky. No, you don't. Like at my age, I now know that I need to maintain my muscle mass, and it's muscles that burn off your calories so you can eat more. And I like food, as we've established. So you know, I'm going to keep my muscle mass. So I've still got little biceps going on.
Look at these guns. Look at this, like.
It's not massive, but it's there. You know, my legs and that. Just squatting is great for your ass. I know this as well. That's always good. Yeah.
Much better than Jane Fonda's. People sit in their bands and they're raising one leg like that. It's all about the squats.
You can tie exercise into any task. So there's a door here and there's a Dynaband thing attached to it, because I do stuff with a dicky shoulder, so I can just sit here like this and do my rehab when I'm on calls. I've also, I think one of the biggest things I think as well is the mindset stuff, is learning that you don't have to do all or nothing. Yes. Better is enough. And that was a massive thing for me. I am, as you know, a perfectionist, and I am inclined to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know, if things don't go perfectly, then I'll be like, well, I've messed up. Therefore, if I had one bad meal, I would have a bad week, because I'd be like, well, I've blown it now. Yeah. So whereas now I'm like, do you know what? Like today I've had a day from hell. I've had all the work. I've done 4,287 steps today, which is absolutely appalling. I try and get me 10,000 a day, but you know what? That's how today's been, and I'll pull it back. It'll make up for it another day, because I'll end up with 15,000 one day when I go out for a run and stuff. You know, it. So that's been a biggie. Learning to be kinder kinder to myself.
Absolutely.
It's huge.
Absolutely. Because everyone's going to have those days. And,
Yeah.
you know, we wouldn't speak to our best friends like that. So why do we beat ourselves up all the time?
Exactly.
You know, having that control, being able to eat a large volume of food, being able to do weight training to keep your metabolism high, being able to do 5Ks off the cuff like they're nothing, having your son lose 2 stone and now being ripped to hell, like you said already. The fact you've maintained that you did Tough Mudder with us, of course, in London.
I did. And I've signed up to do the next one. And I never in a million years, I cried on that big tall thing, you know, because I'm so scared of height. Yeah. And I keep climbing up that, right? And I had my eyes shut and I'm just feeling my way up this slimming cargo now. And the other half was trying to be all encouraging. And he's like, because we used to work on roofs and stuff. So he's just like, la, 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 up to the top, say, come on, just focus, just keep. And I'm like, and then I did swear at him quite a few times. I just kept going, shut up. And he's like, I'm trying to be encouraging. And I'm like, it's not helping. And then when I got off at the other end, I just burst into tears because I can't actually believe to this day that I did it. But anyway.
Oh, you did it.
I did it. It was awesome. It was so awesome. I'm going to do it again.
100%. And those of you who haven't signed up yet, please do. And you can meet Mish in the flesh in Scotland and myself as well. And we'll do it together. All of us do it together.
Yeah.
And look, Mish, what makes you think now that this is all habitual? I know it's 18 months later. You've obviously kept the weight off. You've managed to stay consistent. What makes you think you're never going to go back to that size 16 or size 22?
I got one of my end picture when I finished working with you. I got it printed out on a canvas with the picture, the very first picture that I took and sent to you, the one where I just looked so miserable and old. And I put them side by side on a canvas, and it lives at the foot of my bed. And it's the first thing I see when I wake up and the last thing I see when I go to bed. And that I don't want to be that woman anymore. I like this one. This one's cool. This one's good. So
I didn't know that you did that. That isn't so good to know. I had no idea that you did that.
Yeah, it's my first ever. It's awful, God. And then everybody talks about when you first work with you and this, you make us send that first picture in, and it's hideous. And he makes you cry on your call as well, guys. If, like, you know, but it's worth it. But yeah, the first pictures, they're so soul destroying. They really are so soul destroying. But seeing that every day is a damn good reason not to go back. So
it's incredible. So every single day you're woken up by a huge accomplishment that you managed to do. A huge accomplishment.
And it's just kind of reminded that you can, really, isn't it? So
absolutely. Just increases your self-belief. Mm-hmm. And what would you say to someone? There's loads of people here. I mean, so many people are commenting. We have 117 comments already. Wow. What would you say to someone who is a little bit nervous, hasn't worked with us yet, or has just started and perhaps is a little bit scared that they might fail? That's something else. I want us to help everybody who's currently on the program as well.
Well, I was convinced that I would either fail during or afterwards, because that's what I do. I'm either perfect or a failure, and I didn't honestly think that I could be perfect. Therefore, I knew I would fail, if that makes sense. And I wasn't perfect, Alex. I wasn't perfect. I fell off the wagon during the program, but I think if you're already on it, guys, just pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and listen to Alex's video on black and white thinking. Because it doesn't matter. You don't have to be perfect today. All you've got to be today is a little bit better than you were yesterday. And I think that's the biggest thing for me. And I think for anybody that's thinking about it, that's on the fence, go and look at the HPCP website, the professional registration for dietitians. He really is there. He really does exist. You can even look me up on the NMC, because I'm a nurse as well, so I'm not allowed to lie. And I genuinely worked with Alex, and I am not being paid to do this. And I volunteered because if me whiffling on with Alex for 10, 15 minutes makes you sign up, and you feel how I felt when I worked with him and how I still feel now, like over a year down the line, then it's been worth every minute of it. So if you can do it, do it. He's not full of bullshit.
I love you so much. You know that, don't you? You absolutely do.
I know.
Thank you for the kind words. You're a star. And I know the main thing I've written down from that I'm certainly going to take away is that better is enough. I think that's so powerful. Better is enough. Better than you were yesterday. Better is enough. We don't need to be perfect. And I think that striving for perfection can lead to us beating ourselves up. So Mish, it has been a luxury having you here. Absolutely. Yep. You know, and you're going nowhere. You know, like I'm always going to have you on speed dial on my phone, I think, forever.
And can I just say as well, guys, that I hadn't been on, because with life and moving house and everything, I hadn't been around for a little while. And Alex actually just rang me out of the blue and went, hey, how are you? I haven't heard from you. And how's that for customer service? He's a nice guy.
Like you, Mish. Say that again.
I said he's a nice guy that cares.
Thank you, Mish. No, but I obviously notice, you know, if I don't see in the inner circle, so I wanted to check in and make sure everything was fine. And I was blown back to obviously realize that everything was more than fine, and that makes me very happy. So
just busy living my best life, mate. Busy living my best life.
Love it. Speaking of which, I'm keeping you from your class. So
yes, I need to go to yoga.
Go enjoy, practice what we preach. I'm going to stay on and talk about self-limiting beliefs. Better is enough. That's a favorite thing you've said to me in a long time, Mish. Thanks again, and have a wonderful session. And of course, I'll see you in person in July.
You will indeed. See y'all later. Have fun. Bye.
Bye-bye, Mish.